He's Uncle Colin to many of you. He's an incredible teammate and friend to those of us here on Fox Sports Radio. He's Colin Cowherd. He joins us here live at Radio Row. Last time Super Bowl was in Miami.
Yes.
You survived a vicious bird attack. Am I correct?
It was true. It was back then you didn't have simulcasts, which is a little bit more imperative now, but back then you just did radio, right? And
like this, just slumming it like us. Oh, I'm sorry, what? But, your little show is cute. Yeah.
So it was me doing the show, and I don't even think I had an update person, and it was Chad.
Chad. I forgot Chad. Chad, the producer, yes.
Yeah, smart guy, and we were doing it in this, it's like Lincoln Road or something.
Yeah,
basically,
Lincoln Road Mall or something.
Lincoln Road Mall.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the show, Doug, and it's outdoors, and I had chosen outdoors. They asked me if I wanted to do Radio Row, and I said, put me amongst the people. It's beautiful outside. Golf shirt on. So, like when you do radio, halfway through the show, I'm starving. So they get me a muffin from a Starbucks. So I take a bite of the muffin, and I put it down. And I'm in the middle of the next topic, and I can see something heading toward me from about 30 yards out with wings. It is a giant, like anaconda. It's a giant.
An anaconda's a snake.
Okay, it was like that. It was a pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl, yes.
Okay, and it swooped in and grabbed the muffin, and went right between Chad and I. I'm on the air live.
Right.
Did not swear. We started laughing. We couldn't stop laughing. We just didn't. I mean, first of all, I think the San Diego Zoo has this. Like, there's certain zoos, like they have it where you go to the stand to buy a hot dog and animals swoop by you or something. So it's the only time I've been on the air and been attacked. That was the last time I was in Miami. I do think, how Mardi Gras is in the same city, New Year's Eve celebrations in New York, Grammys in the same city. I would put the Super Bowl in Miami.
I'm okay with that too.
Miami and L.A., back and forth.
And honestly, and I know it's going to be in L.A., I don't even know if LA is as good a spot as this is. And I could pitch you on what I think we're same thinking. In addition to the fact it's multicultural, you got really good food.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like you're in a resort, and you're kind of secluded because South Beach, it's a little island, right? Like, I know there's other stuff that goes on. I know it's a whole other city, but it doesn't exist for right now. And
it's 80.
Yes.
People think, Dallas. Dallas is 49 degrees and 52. L.A. right now is 66. It's 80 here.
Yeah, it's perfect. Look, Arizona I thought was close. The problem with Arizona is Scottsdale is so spread out.
Glendale, Scottsdale.
The stadium doesn't really matter anymore, I think it will in L.A. because NFL owns part of the property, But I'm with you. I even think everyone says, like, New Orleans. Like, dude, you can go out and have a good time in Miami just as much as New Orleans. The difference is you got the beach. The difference is it's 80 degrees.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. This is an interesting week. You always, every time I hang with you, you give me kind of some food for thought. For me, Kobe dying was one thing. I had gotten a relationship with him a little bit, and I know so many other people that were on that helicopter, but also kind of dealing with my 13-year-old daughter dealing with death for the first time of somebody her age.
Right.
One of the things I don't know if people know enough about you is you do give great kind of sage wisdom and advice. If you were me, how would you handle it with my 13-year-old daughter?
Well, my daughter texted me, and she was crying, and she's not a big sports fan.
Who's an amazing follow on Twitter, by the way. Olivia has 100,000 followers now.
Yeah, she's and I've told her before, I'm not a helicopter parent. You're going to misstep. I said, you got to be careful. Stay out of politics. Stay out of racial discussions, and don't sexualize your Twitter account. I'm a dad, so I'm like, go out, have fun. Right. You're going to make missteps, but I'm not here to helicopter. Right? You're gonna screw up. Anyway, so she texted me and she was crying, and I just it's almost a cliche now. Like, and my wife's really good at this. You got to really live in the day. Like when I've never been somebody. I don't like presents. Christmas was always hard for me. I feel awkward. Like I can go buy what I want, even when I didn't have any money. I'm not a good gift acceptor. I'd rather give people stuff than get it. I don't know why that is. I'd go to Dr. Phil someday. But and I've never been, before I met my wife, I was always big picture, getting to a place, get to the destination. And my wife's much more about the journey. And Ann's really good about that, like live in the moment. And, when you see something like Kobe, and for the record, Kobe did live in the moment, and had big picture vision. I mean, he had both.
Yeah.
But I think when I think about Kobe, it was for 41 years old a life extraordinarily lived. But we don't like stuff taken from us when we're 8, 18, and we didn't like Kobe taken from us. Like, we weren't done with Kobe. Like, I liked Kobe more in his last 4 years as his skills diminished.
Yeah.
He was more human. He let me in. And it's like the lesson, if there's a lesson with Kobe, the more you give of yourself, the more we connect with you. Kobe at his best was a little aloof and distant.
He wasn't a little aloof. He was a lot aloof. He wasn't well liked. He was respected, always respected,
right,
but he wasn't well liked.
As he aged, he was less productive as a player, but more human and vulnerable, and I felt a real connection to him. Like, I really liked the daughter. I liked the Oscars. It's the life lesson I would say to men. I think as men, a lot of us have a body armor and a shield up, right? We've got to be strong. We can't cry. And I said on the air Monday, cry this one out. Michael Jackson was great, but I saw people cry when Michael left, and I didn't get it. But as I've aged, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Kobe, you don't have to explain it. He touched you. You can have a.
Here's the difference, though. Okay, Whitney, we saw, like those of us who remember seeing the national anthem in '91, right? But we saw the decline because of the drugs.
Yeah,
we saw the decline in Michael Jackson when he didn't even look like the same person.
Yeah, Kobe was sudden.
Kobe, he looked like the same Kobe Bryant we'd seen play.
Yeah.
Right? Like, literally, he hadn't changed. He was in great shape.
Yeah.
And so in our minds, we always build up sports figures to be immortals. Thought he is immortal.
Right.
And then there's Nick Wright had that great stat, which is like of the MVPs in the history of the NBA, only 3 now are not still with us. Like, NBA players don't die.
Well, they live a long time.
Bill Russell's still alive.
It's funny you say that because
John Havlicek's still alive.
It's Oscar Robertson.
Abdul-Jabbar's still alive.
Yeah. I've seen, the first game I ever watched was Wilt Chamberlain Lakers 1972. So that's kind of, for me, the Super Bowl with the Dolphins and the Redskins is the beginning of my sports viewing. It sounds so old. Like 72, I was a little kid, however old I am at then, about 8 years old, black and white TV in my bedroom. I was either going to be a weathercaster because I love the weather. My dad bought me a weather book.
I love the weather.
I love the weather,
yes.
And I love sports. And a neighbor came over, Jeff Cooney. He was new in the neighborhood, and after the second day, he goes, I think you're way more into sports than weather. Because that's all we've talked about for 2 days. So that was the beginning of my sports. And I've seen everybody except Sandy Koufax that I wanted to see, Oscar Robertson and Sandy Koufax. I saw everybody else. Mickey Mantle, but I don't have, I'm a West Coast guy, not an East Coast guy. So I feel like I'm so lucky as a sportscaster, as a human. I've really lived through everything. And Kobe is, he's... Doug, you and I talk about this. There's a lot of great NBA players. There's about 9 that have really mattered. I mean, LeBron, Michael, Magic, Shaq, Kobe, Steph. We lost one of them, and he was incredibly likable at the end.
The story is incredibly complex too, right? Like the relationship with his dad, getting married, and his dad's not at mom, dad not at the wedding, right? There was the breakup with Shaq. There's obviously Denver, Colorado, and there was so many, and Shaq gone, Phil gone, Phil comes back, Pau Gasol, and then the contract that he got after tearing his Achilles tendon, which really ruined the Lakers' chances, and it's a lot like, it's kind of like the Brady thing, a little bit, right?
Yes.
Where you're getting paid for your past excellence, but it ends up handcuffing the team to going out and getting other players, which is interesting because I started by talking about Brady. Like, I get that he may have been worth it because of what he's achieved, but like Tom Brady's not a top 5, top 10 quarterback right now.
No.
And so you're left with he's holding a gun to the head of the Patriots. What are they going to do?
The difference is I would have paid Kobe at the end because Kobe sold seats. My classic example. My daughter comes to me, Kobe's last game. She goes, "Can you get tickets?" I said, "Well, it's tomorrow. It's a big game and it's a little late." I'm like, "Honey, it's Kobe Bryant's last game." And so I need a little heads up on that. It's not the Nuggets in January. And but I would have paid it for Kobe because Time Warner at the time said, "Listen, we got a lot of money here."
I understand, but you couldn't win because he was making so much money.
But
nobody wanted to play with him. People forget, no one wanted to play with Kobe.
But you weren't going to be a championship team anyway. The Lakers are like, we need the TV contract. Now, if you're a champion, like New England right now, their thing is, we ain't that far. We're getting our kicker back, our center back, and we need a tight end. So their thing is, Tom could get in the way of championships. Kobe wasn't getting in the way of them. So I understood. I always understand when you sign, like Oklahoma City and Westbrook, Presti behind the scenes. They knew the Westbrook thing wasn't going to work. But God, he was the Thunder.
Right.
Like you had to. Paul George had to leave. In a way, it was a weird break. It was like, okay, we can move on from Russell. But until then, Russell's the attraction. And the Harden left and KD left. Not getting a lot of free agents there.
Yeah. No, you can't get any free agents there. Last thing. Everybody's going to talk about the game. Here's what I want. What is your most memorable Super Bowl?
Seattle, New England, because I grew up in Seattle, and then I moved to New England. So it was the only Super Bowl. And my favorite two players in the league are Brady and Russell Wilson. So my sister wasn't a sports fan, and Russell Wilson made her a sports fan. She would send me these texts during the game, and Russell Wilson mugs and all this stuff, and it was really cool. We really connected. And I remember going into the game, and I'm like, I just don't want either player to suffer anything. I don't want either player to be embarrassed. Just play great. I really wanted a great game. Part of me kind of rooted for Seattle because of my sister, and I thought it'd be great for the Northwest. I mean, Boston's got 1 million titles. It ended up being unbelievable. I still say the throw down the right sideline before the Malcolm Butler throw is the most unforgotten play in league history. It's like David Tyree.
Didn't he get up and run after everybody thought he was down?
Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, who were exceptional, for a good 4 count, had no idea the ball was caught.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd moved on. They're like, incompletion. All right, second down, and Collinsworth like, Al, he caught the ball. So to me, that's the best Super Bowl. I was connected geographically, and it ended up being, an incredible finish.
It's interesting. I would say the New England one against Atlanta
it was good.
Because it was 28-3, and it was such a beating midway through the third quarter. It was like the Patriots were getting embarrassed.
I was sitting on a couch because I had to leave immediately after the game to get back to L.A. for a Monday show, and I was sitting with all my bosses. And they were worried at half. They're like, this is going to kill the ratings.
Yes.
This is a terrible game. Then I went to overtime, and my boss turned to me and said, do you know how much money we're going to make because this game went to overtime?
Yeah.
It went from a disaster for Fox to one of the great games, revenue, viewership ever.
Did you make a pick? Are you making a pick tomorrow?
I think San Francisco's got a better roster.
Team.
I feel no conviction with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It feels a little bit. The Chiefs feel a little bit like when either Marino got here or when Elway got here early, where he lifted the team to a level they weren't really
They're
on.
not quite ready for it.
Yes.
Not quite.
Yes. Colin Cowherd every day on your iHeartRadio app, on Fox Sports 1, and, of course, on all our Fox Sports Radio affiliates. Thanks so much, dude.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Hey, what up? Doug Gottlieb here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Fox Sports Radio. You can catch my show, all the shows on Fox Sports Radio, unique interviews, strong takes, just interesting discussion on the sports topic of the day, of the week, of the month. It's all encompassing. It's everything you need right here on YouTube. Subscribe.